Meghan Markle defy our gracious Majesty the Queen by simply doing this. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to have your company today, and as ever, lovely to see you. Yeah, still a bit froggy. Battling on, yes. I'm not sure if the whiskey works, you know what I mean? You wake up with a bit of a heavy head, don't you? I know, you're supposed to get good whiskey though, aren't you? I think that's the problem. I don't like any sort of drinks really though. I don't know about you, but I find all of them a bit unpleasant. Did try a little bit with ginger ale, but I don't know anybody can sip whiskey. I admire the people that can, and it does smell nice. And I tell you what, whiskey does the trick. You know, if you're a singer or a performer, let me tell you, there's nothing better. It puts your voice back. But as a sip, as a drink, I'm not so sure. Yeah, doesn't really mix well with Horlicks, does it? Back as ever though to your breaking ball story of the day. This particular story again is basically gaining traction because let's just call it, you know, the difficult Duchess, because Meghan Markle, as we know, has been cited as being a difficult person to work with those bullying allegations which were undertaken privately by our gracious Majesty the Queen. And what's interesting, obviously because she paid for it herself, as I've said many times on the show, you know, it's her say, it's her shout. You know, she doesn't have to release anything. I think what's interesting though is that the people who allegedly were traumatized by their involvement with Meghan and Harry, it has to be said, during that particular period, do not want to come forward. You know, that's the bigger problem that nobody's reported. I mean, when you think about it, their former assistant, Jason North, did come forward and at least did say a few things, but not really enough to back much up. Now, what's interesting here is that as they know, you know, Meghan and Harry know this, as they move towards their political leanings now, this just doesn't bode well, you know. We already know about all sorts of political backstabbings and skullduggery. It just goes on, doesn't it? But when you're starting out, you need to be whiter than white. And Meghan really has a double whammy against her simply because she's also not speaking to her father or her sister. So she can't really promote family values, you know, if you're not speaking to your family. So she has a problem. Now, according to a very good source, and as ever, we have to say, allegedly, you know, she's very much toying with the idea to put out her own version of events, really to sort of counteract the negativity. Now, what I would suggest is this. It's a very dangerous game because we truly don't know what's in that report. It could be positive for Meghan and Harry, or it could be incredibly negative with things that they didn't even think about or know about, because these are the people that have been interviewed about their time working under the former Duke and Duchess. But if they do decide to go public and try and rectify this, even if it was a sit-down interview lost in a conversation, as it were, it would be a very big slap against our gracious monarch. It's just not the thing to do. Now, Prince Harry would know this, and obviously, you know, one would think that he might be able to rein in his very, shall we say, outspoken wife. But whether he can on a situation like this, or indeed whether he feels that he wants the public to know his version of events, remains to be seen. But moving forward, this could truly be the very final insult from Meghan and Harry against our gracious monarch. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.